Now, Germany's foreign minister is on a two-day trip to Nigeria, visiting a region that's a stronghold of the terror group Boko Haram. Annalena Baerbock had toured a camp in the north that's reintegrating former fighters back into society. It's part of a project that Germany's funding that aims to stamp out terrorism in the area. As Baerbock said, the surrender of around 100,000 Boko Haram fighters gives hope to the conflict-torn region. And we can join our correspondent Flourish Chakwora in Abuja. Welcome, Flourish. Northern Nigeria has long been considered a Boko Haram stronghold. Has that situation improved at all?
Well, the Boko Haram situation appears to have improved. It's been a long time since we heard of any bomb blast, any bomb attacks in the northeastern region, and we're also seeing communities being regained by the Nigerian government. Not only that, thousands and thousands of Boko Haram fighters are also coming to surrender themselves, and, you know, in Nigeria here they call them repentant terrorists. Of course, one can argue whether that is true or not. Now, about the security situation in general, while we are seeing what seems to be an improvement when it comes to Boko Haram, there is also the rise of banditry. So whether or not the security situation in the northeast has improved in general, I'm not sure. I'm sure many people will not agree to that, because kidnapping has become a menace, you know, kidnapping for ransom, even killing those who have been held hostage. So while we are seeing Boko Haram kind of decrease, we're also seeing banditry and other security problems spring up.
And how successful has the government been at fighting these terrorists or insurgents, or indeed these bandits?
So it's been a tough fight for the Nigerian government. Of course, like Minister Baerbock said, thousands and thousands of them have surrendered to the Nigerian government, but the fight is still on. Many communities that were under the control of Boko Haram have now been regained by the Nigerian government, but there are still other communities that are still controlled by Boko Haram. So the fight is not over. And the Islamic insurgency is not something that only affects Nigeria. The entire Lake Chad region, countries like Mali, countries like Chad, they are all affected as well. So it's a concerted effort, not just by the Nigerian government, but also by the military in those other surrounding countries.
And projects like the one the German foreign minister is visiting, how important are they in the fight against Boko Haram?
Well, one of the major causes of Boko Haram, one of the root causes, of course, is lack of development. So seeing communities develop at that level, you know, the Nigerian government is hoping that would bring a sense of peace. But whether or not that would actually stop Boko Haram, you know, we would wait to see what happens after that. But projects like this, of course, also help, you know, people who have been affected by Boko Haram. I mean, one of the communities the community that the foreign minister visited is called Ngaranam. Now, that community was made up of 3,000 people that were displaced by Boko Haram. And now they get the chance to go back home thanks to efforts by the EU and the German government, as well as UNDP. So things like this really help to show that the situation has slightly improved.
Thanks for that. Flourish Chakwora in Abuja. While she's in Nigeria, the German foreign minister will personally return the so-called Benin Bronzes, some of the thousands of valuable artefacts looted by Europeans in the late 19th century. The repatriation follows an agreement reached this year between Berlin and Abuja. The statues previously belonged to collections of museums in 5 German cities.
Preparing precious cargo for a long-awaited journey home. These stolen treasures have spent over a century in Germany. They'll soon begin a new life in modern-day Nigeria, the country where they were crafted hundreds of years ago. Dozens of bronze sculptures housed in this museum in Cologne now legally belong to Nigeria and will be returned there in stages over the next few years. A delegation from Nigeria was on hand to witness the inaugural transfer.
And at last, this thing is happening. It's really a huge emotional moment for me. And to see, when I go back to Benin City, to see how much these people express their emotions and their excitement, to see that for real, these objects are coming back.
Elated. We are full of joy, and we are full of gratitude to those who stood for the truth, and we know that history is going to be kind to them.
The move is the culmination of a deal signed earlier this year between Nigeria and Germany after years of negotiations. At the ceremony in July, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock promised to right the wrongs of the past.
It was wrong to take the bronzes. It was wrong to keep them for 120 years. But we want this occasion to be more than just a fleeting moment. We wanted to usher in a new era of cooperation between our two countries. Because looking back is one thing, but we are here as politicians, as society, to build together the future.
The bronzes were looted by British soldiers in 1897 from the ruling palace of the Kingdom of Benin in what's now Nigeria. They were sold to collectors all over Europe. More than 1,000 ended up in German museums. Now Germany has become the first former colonial power to hand them back.
Good journey to Nigeria.
Thank you very much. This is the key to our new cooperation, new relationship.
Their return is a milestone in Nigeria's fight to regain its stolen cultural heritage, and a sign that owning the wrongs of the past is key to improving the future.
But also to the city of Colonia.